Okay, so for our deep dive today, I wanted to start with a question that sort of challenges everything we're taught about success.
Oh, I like this.
What if that feeling we call motivation, that spark we all wait for before we start something big, what if it's a lie? What if it was never supposed to be the starting point?
It's such a core belief, isn't it? The entire culture is built around it. Find your passion, just get fired up.
Exactly. We're told to wait for the feeling, but the material we dug into for this, it just flips that completely on its head.
Right. It suggests that motivation isn't the cause of you taking action. It might actually be the result of it.
Which is a huge shift.
Yeah.
So our mission today is really to pull apart this idea. How do you build consistency, real, actual consistency, without having to rely on an emotion that, might just not show up for work that day?
We're looking for the system, not the spark.
The system, not the spark. I love that.
Yeah.
So if that's the premise, we have to look at the people who are masters of consistency, the elite performers.
Athletes, CEOs, prolific artists.
Yeah. And we assume they're just running on some infinite tank of motivation. They wake up ready to conquer the world every single day.
And that's the myth, right? The myth of the motivated elite. When you actually break down their routines, it's not about willpower. In fact, they seem to be actively trying to avoid using willpower.
They're conserving it, like a phone battery. They know they only have so much, so they don't waste it on debating whether or not to do the thing.
Exactly. Instead of using energy to force an action, they use their energy up front, just once, to design a path where the action is almost automatic.
It's all about intentional system design.
And this goes way deeper than just, having a tidy desk. System design in this context is about shaping your environment so the right choice is actually the easiest choice.
The path of least resistance.
Yeah, you're making what you need to do the laziest possible option.
So let's get specific, because its sources were full of these little tricks, things that some people call habit stacking.
Right. Think about an elite runner. It's not just laying out their clothes. It's their running shoes are by the bed, their water bottle is already filled, and on the counter, the route is preloaded on their watch from the night before.
They're creating this sort of gravity, a forward momentum that pulls them out the door.
They've taken a whole chain of decisions. What do I wear? Where do I run? Do I have water? And they've just collapsed it into one single non-decision. Put on shoes.
The core idea here, and this came up again and again, is managing cognitive load.
Every tiny decision we make, like what to eat for lunch, drains a little bit of that mental energy.
Which is why you see some of these super successful people wearing the same outfit every day. It's not a fashion statement.
No, not at all. It's a conservation strategy. They're saving their brain power for the 2 or 3 decisions that actually matter that day, not for what color shirt to wear. They automate the obvious.
And the mindset that comes with that is, it's just so different. I loved that point in material about their internal monologue. Most of us ask, do I feel like doing this today?
Yeah.
But the person with a system, they're just asking.
What's next on the checklist? The decision is already made. There's no room for a debate with yourself.
Okay, but I have to push back here for a second. This all sounds a little cold, doesn't it? A bit mechanistic, like we're just robots executing a program. What about passion? Does that initial excitement play no role?
That's a really good question. And the sources don't dismiss it. They recategorize it. They're very clear. Motivation is an emotion.
And that's the problem right there.
That is the problem. Because what do we know about emotions? They're temporary. They're unreliable. They spike, they peak, they crash. That incredible high you get when you start a new project.
It's fleeting.
It's a chemical rush. It's a great little booster rocket to get you off the ground, but it is not the engine that will get you to your destination.
And you really see it fail when things get hard. When the project gets boring or you hit a wall, that's when the emotional fuel just vanishes.
And that's precisely the moment where a system proves its worth. A good system is designed to work, even when you feel terrible. When you're tired, you're stressed, you have zero confidence, the system is still there.
So if discipline isn't about gritting your teeth and just forcing it, what is it?
The synthesis from all this material is pretty radical. True discipline is not about willpower, it's about design.
Okay, unpack that.
Discipline is using your smart, energetic self today to build a structure that your lazy, unmotivated self can't mess up tomorrow. You're using external structure to override your internal chaos.
That's a powerful reframe.
Yeah.
It's not about self-punishment. It's about clever engineering. You're just being smarter than your own brain's lazy tendencies.
And we should talk about why our brains are like that. It's not about hating work. Our brain is fundamentally wired to conserve energy, to avoid pain.
And in this context, friction is pain.
Exactly. Friction is the mental cost of getting started. If there are too many steps, too much to think about. The brain just sees this big energy bill and says, nope, shut it down.
Which brings us to that classic example that I think everyone listening can relate to. Why is it so easy to scroll on your phone for an hour, but so monumentally hard to just write for 5 minutes?
Because scrolling is zero friction. Zero. There's no startup cost, your thumb moves, you get an instant, unpredictable reward. It's what the brain is built for.
Whereas writing that report, you have to find the file, open the app, stare at the blank page.
That cascade of little obstacles is friction. And your brain does a quick cost-benefit analysis and screams, abort, go back to the easy thing.
So the people who nail this, the elite system designers, they get this instinctively.
Yeah.
And their solution is to make starting stupidly easy.
Yes. Stupidly easy. They shrink the action down to what the sources call a micro action.
Which is like the smallest possible unit of a habit. It's an action so tiny your brain can't even argue with it.
We're talking ridiculously small. Committing to writing one sentence, just one. Or doing one single push-up. Or just opening the language app on your phone.
The goal isn't to do the whole workout or write the chapter.
No, not at all. The goal of the micro action is simply to start, to generate momentum. It's physics. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion
tends to stay in motion.
Yeah.
Once you've overcome that initial bit of friction, once the app is open, once the first sentence is on the page, it's actually harder to stop and find something else to do than it is to just keep going.
And that is when motivation finally decides to show up. It kicks in after the system has forced the action. You start to feel good because you're making progress.
So the feeling is the reward, not the fuel.
The feeling is the reward.
Yeah.
And this brings the whole idea full circle. You don't wait for the feeling. You let the system produce it for you.
You can even weaponize this with things like habit stacking, just bolting a new, tiny action onto something you already do without thinking.
Sure. Like after I pour my morning coffee, which you always do, I will open my journal and write one sentence. The coffee is the trigger. The one sentence is the stupidly easy start. No new willpower required.
So if we pull back, the real lie isn't that you're lazy or you lack willpower. The lie is the idea that motivation was ever supposed to be reliable in the first place.
That's the pivot. You have to stop prioritizing an emotion, which is fundamentally unreliable, and start prioritizing the integrity of your structure. Build the engine, stop waiting for the spark.
Because when that spark inevitably dies down, and it always will, that's just how emotions work. The system is what's left.
The system is what carries you through the boring, the difficult, the uninspired days. It's what guarantees progress when you feel like you have nothing left to give. You decouple your output from your feelings.
So what does this mean for you, listening to this right now? If true discipline is really about designing systems that remove friction, let's leave you with a challenge from the material.
Yeah, okay.
Think about your biggest goal, the one that always feels so daunting. What is the one decision you have to make over and over again to work on it?
The one point of friction.
The one point of friction. And how can you design a simple one-step system today that eliminates that decision completely so that tomorrow, even if you have zero motivation, you're practically guaranteed to start? What can you design right now to make starting stupidly easy?